We all know that content is king, and producing really engaging content for your blog or for your YouTube channel is really going to make it take off. But doing that takes a lot of time. So how can you increase your output? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today, so don't go anywhere. Hello YouTube, and a very special hello to all my subscribers. My name's Phil and welcome to my channel. This is where I document my journey trying to build an online income. So if that's something that you're trying to do as well, why not subscribe? So today we're going to be talking about an idea that will help you to increase your output in blogging, but also when producing your YouTube videos. Now, I have to admit to you, this is not really my idea, as I've never really had an original idea in my life. But this is kind of a case of convergence evolution. And yes, I had to look up that phrase. So I'm a member of Project 24, and one of the best things of this program is that there's this kind of community, this forum where we can kind of interact with other members. Now, the thing about the Project 24 members is that they are really, really smart people and they share their ideas. So Derek J actually created a post. He was asking, how can you guys write so much? And Steve M, this is totally his idea, Steve M said how he did it. And it was really weird because it was something that I had been thinking about at the same time, but he put it down in black and white before I did. So this is definitely his idea. So if we talk about writing a blog post, what kind of takes the most time? Well, apart from the actual writing, it's the research. Now, when you're starting out, when you don't really know much about your niche, you're going to do a lot more research, and it's going to happen every single time you're unsure of what to say within the blog post. Apart from research, things like adding images, adding YouTube videos, they're going to take a lot of time. Creating tables, infographics, that sort of thing. It all adds to the workload. So Steve M has come up with a different approach, and it kind of just moves the things around, and it helps him to write many more blog posts at once very quickly. So this is what he does. Now, he actually says that he takes about a month out and he just does lots and lots of research. He reads books, which a lot of bloggers don't actually do. He watches YouTube videos. He interacts within Facebook groups. He probably also listens to podcasts. And what he should also be doing is a little bit of journalistic research where he's actually asking experts within the niche. So he spends about a month doing this, and then he writes his blog posts. And he says that what happens is, because he's collected all these notes through about a month's worth of research, he's able to write his blog posts pretty much off the top of his head. And this really doesn't take as much time as when you're researching every little point that you want to talk about. Now, I've certainly found this to be true myself. Compared to writing my first blog posts about a year ago on my first Project 24 website to now, I know a lot more things within my niche. So I basically just write and I can't stop. But the other thing that's quite interesting with Steve M's approach is that he just writes pure text. He says all he does is a little bit of interlinking within his own website, maybe puts in a few affiliate links, but then that's it. He publishes it. He doesn't put any images right there and then. He doesn't add his YouTube videos or anything like that. No tables, no infographics. He actually comes back and does that later. So what I imagine he means is he writes post 1, gets it published, moves straight on to post 2, post 3, etc., etc. That means that his output per day, per working hour is much higher than someone who's trying to do everything at once. So as I said, this is kind of, I was thinking about doing this as well. It's something I've been moving towards. I've been doing it more and more. But as I said, Steve M put it down in black and white first, so I have to give him credit for this idea. Now, some tips for research. What I would do is, if you're planning to write, say, 2, 3, 5 blog posts in next week, okay, you're going to kind of focus your research on those titles. So producing your hit list in advance and knowing exactly what you're going to write, that's going to help you really focus in your research. So as you're going through and reading your books, or you're sort of going through other blog posts or YouTube videos, whatever it might be, when you create your notes, which you're going to work off later on, make sure you know where all your ideas have come from. As I said before, I've never had an original idea in my life. Most of the things I pick up from other people. So it's always a good idea to cite your sources. Unless you're doing original research, you really want to say where that idea came from, because it actually gives you more authority. If you're citing experts within your field, it's going to make your blog or your YouTube channel a little bit better than the people that are just spinning content from lower quality blogs, let's say. The other thing you should be doing is you should be saving links to the YouTube channels that you've been watching, the videos that you've been watching, because you can actually put these into your blog posts later, or you can refer to them if you're also producing a video. And if you're using a lazy loader, this is a really good way to avoid having to pay for stock images, because with a lazy loader, the YouTube video, the thumbnail will appear as an image until the user actually clicks on it. This is something I've been doing for many months now, and I really think it's kind of upped my time on page, because people will watch a video that's relevant to the post or the actual subheading that you're writing about at the time. If you're reading books, which is a really good thing because most bloggers don't do this, make sure that you take a note of the page number, the chapter, the author, all these things, because if you cite them within your post, even if it's a no link mention, this can actually help you. So Google is kind of moving towards this idea of no link mentions to build up authority. Now this can help you with your EAT if someone's doing it to you, but it can also help you appear more of an authority if you're doing it with other authors. So make sure you always know where your ideas come from. And another great thing about doing this research and taking this approach is you're going to develop new ideas. If you come across new questions that people are asking in Facebook groups, or you come across an idea that sort of you didn't realize, or it turns on a light bulb for you. This actually happened to me the other day. I was listening to a podcast and it just, suddenly that light bulb went on, and I realized that I had been misunderstanding something for a long time. So once you come up with these new ideas, you can add it to your ideation list, your hit list, your pre-hit list. So doing this kind of research is a great way to find new titles that you can write later on. Okay, so whether you're spending a month doing the research, or you're spending a week, or even just doing it the day before, eventually you're going to have to sit down and write. So what I like to do before writing is I just read my topic heading, and then I take the dog for a walk. Mia want to go walkies. And as she's sniffing around and doing what she needs to do, I'm just thinking about what I'm going to write. How am I going to lay it out? What ideas would be best linked to it? How will I develop this post, basically? Now, not everyone has a dog, but you can do this when you're commuting. You can do this when you're, doing exercise, all manner of things. But I like to sort of ponder things to get away from any distractions and then really plan out that post. Then when I actually sit down, I will always put the heading in, making sure I've capitalized the first letter of every word. And then I actually plan out the post. I put where the snippet's going to be. I normally write snippet and put it in bold in a big letter so I don't forget it. Because my approach is to write the snippet at the end. After I've written the entire post, I go back and write the snippet as a summary of what I've written. I find it's much easier to do that just for me. Then afterwards, I'm going to lay out the subheadings, and I make sure that I've got them all there. I know what's going to come next. And then it's just a question of writing the information for each of those headings. But the most important thing is, before you start writing, turn off your phone, turn off Facebook, any sort of distraction. If there's kids in the house, I don't know, lock them away. Is that legal? Maybe not. But whatever you need to do, get away from the distractions. Give yourself a solid hour, 2 hours, however long you need to write that post. I do find that when people are sending me messages or phone calls, it's much harder to progress than if I'm in a silent space with no distractions. So with Steve M, what he would recommend at this point is to go on to the next blog post and do that, and then come back maybe much later to add the images, the YouTube videos and all those things. What I would recommend you do is, if you spend 1 week doing research and 1 week writing, just save those posts as drafts. And then in the 3rd week, go back through them and add your images, your YouTube videos, add those tables, infographics, all those things to really make your post or your YouTube video as useful as it can be. The reason I say that is life has a habit of getting in the way. And if you leave your post too long and you go back and add to it, if you've added too much, Google may want to sort of re-rank it, retest it, and you could lose several weeks or even months. So I think it's a good idea to do 1 week of research, 1 week of writing, 1 week of adding to those posts, all the things that you need to add. Okay guys, so many of you know that we're in the middle of the Content Warrior Challenge. All this month we're trying to write as many words as we can. I'm actually doing fairly well across all my websites. I think I'm up to about 40,000 words at the moment. But I thought this is a really good way to help you kind of produce more content just throughout the year. So all props go to Steve M, because this is a really good approach and it's definitely something I'm going to be adopting. So if you would like to benefit from people like Steve M, then you really should consider joining Project 24. It's an internet marketing course that really shows you everything you need to do to build an online income. And I've really enjoyed being a part of it, and it's basically showing me a lot of success so far. But of course, there's always room for improvement. If you want to find out more, then you can click on the link in the description. It'll take you to a webinar, which will sort of give you more details about that. And just remember that if you do buy through that link, it is an affiliate link and I do get a commission, but it won't cost you any more, and it really helps me sort of keep doing what I'm doing on this channel. Okay guys, if you haven't subscribed, why not do that now? If you've got any other tips that we can share with each other, please leave me a comment. Thanks for watching guys, I really appreciate your support, and I will see you in the next video. Oh, by the way, FC, am I still looking sweaty?